can't say that now.
Hi, everyone. I'm Lisa Rosenthal, and I am joined today with my co-founder and partner, Bruce Libman. Welcome to the Ultimate Client Strategy Podcast. And today we have a very special guest, Dorothy Lata, better known and affectionately known to the people that know her as Dor Lata. Welcome. We're glad you're here. What you do is so critically important to everyone, regardless of their profession or career. As long as they're interacting with people, you have an expertise that is going to help them. So while we're going to talk mostly about you today and not all of that detail of what you do, it's going to be nice for folks to know. So welcome.
Thank you so much for having me, Lisa and Bruce. My name is Dor Lata, founder of On-Camera Image Consulting and creator of Digital Identity Brand Transformation Media Training Program for everyone.
Amazing, amazing. So no doubt that media training, being on camera, we've all over the last 5 years of learning Zoom, learning how to position ourselves. There's been such a transition. I remember in the beginning of COVID, people were taking pictures of their Zoom rooms and who was there. And I was yelling at people saying, who gave you permission to put my picture out like that? That's not okay. So, people had to learn new etiquette, right? Over being on camera. People had to learn how to position themselves. In the beginning, there were no image backgrounds like we have today. And right, there were so many parts and pieces of being just on the computer camera. I can't imagine what that looks like on a set and all the different things people have to be aware of. But, as professionals, we're all in front of people all day long, and you're even folks that may not be in a professional service industry. If you're working with people all day, your body language is so critically important, right? As is being able to read somebody else's body language. So I would love for you to share a little bit more about the value of the work you do and share with folks, how does that align with you, your history, your background, and the things you enjoy?
That's actually a great question, Lisa, because body language tells a lot about you. According to Forbes.com, 93% is based on non-verbal communications, where 3% is verbal communication skills. And actually, this was analyzed during COVID when everyone was on camera. So FBI agents, for instance, read your body language and your confidence through, even without listening, your presentation or your interviews, just watching you, which is very interesting skill to have. And I'm a big fan of Joe Navarro, who wrote a bunch of books on that topic. So position yourself beautifully in the front of camera, looking into camera, making sure that your body posture is beautifully presented in the front of camera is a key, because you exude confidence through your body language and facial expressions.
Absolutely. So you have a long history in helping people with their image. So maybe you want to share a little bit about, where this all started for you.
Well, it's a long history for sure. Since I was 5 years old, I was on stage myself. The little kid, I was scouted to be in a bunch of different bands, performing, singing, and dancing. As I got older, I studied my skills with very famous group of professors in Europe and in the United States as well. And I was in a few bands, international bands, and I was on stage, off stage. And I studied also in Paris. I was studying special effects makeup artistry with one of the most talented and still my mentor, creator of Makeup Forever, Denny Sans, which I was very fortunate to be her student. I've learned a lot. I learned how to create butterflies from humans, how to use human body as a canvas. But therefore, studying this, I also studied the lighting. I studied the body language and performance, being on stage and, of course, off stage. I rehearsed a lot with famous musicians and great performers, which gave me credentials and taught me skills which I still value and can teach others how to behave on stage, on camera, because your set at home is your stage. And therefore, I work for Bloomberg TV and I built my career from freelancer to creative director of global Bloomberg operations, helping anchors, reporters, journalists to create their best brand on camera with nonverbal communications.
That's amazing. So when you take all of that background, right? How do you translate that to working with a CPA or an attorney or a financial person that may be asked to be on camera as a contributing guest?
Terrific question, because this is the key of my best performance, in a sense, to take someone who has no experience to be on stage or on camera and to transform this person to someone who can make powerful presentations, video recordings, and let those people brand shine on camera, because everybody could be a rock star. You just need some training, you need some rehearsals, and also the bottom line, you need to know what to do in a set of skills that someone like me can coach you and teach you how to perform.
Amazing. Bruce, you always talk about body language.
Yeah, in the world that I grew up in, everything was the eyes.
100%.
I could look at a person, okay, and just judge by their eyes, all right, in many ways what is going on, all right, and what the conversations is going to be, good, bad, or indifferent. And I found that to be a benefit for me anyway. All right. But as I matured, I realized that there was much more to that too. There was the energy between people and how you want to perceive yourself in the marketplace. Right. How you want to look, how do you want to dress, what immediate image do you want somebody to see? All right. I think that always lent itself to my success anyway. And and then I was a bit of a judgment too when I would look at somebody, all right, from a distance, the way they walk and the way they handle themselves and the way they dress, the message is coming through and you didn't even speak yet. The message is being delivered. I think people have to be much more aware of that today. I don't see that today as I did, years ago.
I think we have a much more casual environment today. So it's no longer, people don't get dressed to go to work the way they used to in a suit and tie. And so when you had somebody that was in jeans and a button-down shirt, it was like, wow, they stood out because everybody else is in a suit. Now there are no rules. All bets are off. And I still think it's the opposite, that people, when they show up put together and dressed, now they're the ones that stand out. So
and I think that's a mistake for people. I really do. I think that some people can carry it off real well, right? But you can see, what they would call casual Fridays in those days. All right. But you wore a sport jacket and jeans, I guess, I'm old school. That's my feeling about it. I think that the message is being delivered. I think we become too lax in that. All right. But that's only my opinion. All right. Lisa could tell you, I used to, before COVID, I'm going to have meetings. I put on my suit. I put on my, I laid out my stuff in the morning and the night before, and I had my shirt, my tie, and I wouldn't be seen without a tie, But, again, Lisa's right. The world has changed.
So Dor, how does that translate to the work you do? And what have you seen over the years, the differences?
During my program, one of the topics actually of my program is dress for success. What does it mean is that there are 3 different codes of conveying your brand. I would start with casual, which is exactly jeans and could be a t-shirt even, and the vest with the logo of your company. That's casual. The second dress code would be business casual, which is semi-casual, but semi-business. You would have a shirt with the open last button, no tie, and let's say a vest with your logo. But the third one would be business dress code, where you wear your shirt, tie, or bow tie, suit, you look elegant and tied, just like you would make a meeting with your CEO or CFO in Hong Kong or Singapore. You're based in San Francisco of New York, you're not gonna show up in t-shirt in front of camera. You got to be professional. And therefore, 3 different codes for 3 different occasions and situations. But yet again, each single dress code represents you and your brand. Never, ever forget that. Always have your logo, always have a big smile, make yourself look presentable and professional.
Yeah, no doubt. And it's interesting you talk about clothing, professional clothing that has your logo. If you are in the tech world, that's common all day long. Their logos for their companies are on
Always.
a piece of clothing. But if you are an attorney, you're not going to put your logo on, a professional piece of clothing. What you might do is you might be, sponsoring a baseball league, right? And you'll have your logo on your teams, your firm, right? For that purposes. Or if you are in the service business of, of services that are like HVAC or appliance repair, or you are somebody that's going into residential homes, right? You'll always have your logo on your, your professional clothing. So
Outfit, uniforms.
right? Like a uniform.
Yeah.
Think of the word, I was like, that, yes, uniform. So at the end of the day, there isn't anybody, and that's what I said in the beginning of this, there isn't anybody that can't go through your program or learn about body language and image, because no matter what career you're in, it has an impact, right? When you're facing either on camera, even Zoom like this, or you are going door to door because you are a service company that goes into people's residential homes, you have to present yourself properly. I can think of endless amounts of companies that could use your service to train their staff about how to interact with the public when they're entering somebody's home, right? You have to make people comfortable that they're safe when they allow you into their home, for whatever the repair or services. So I can think of endless companies where the value of what you do is real and impactful to their bottom line.
That's so true, Lisa, especially because your body language represents your confidence, your facial expressions. We have 43 muscles in our face. Each single one is responsible for something. Most of all, the biggest thing is to smile, because everyone is hypnotized by smiling, someone on the other side of camera, or in the front of your door, or in the front of making presentation. When you smile, everything sounds and looks better.
100%.
And I feel that body language and facial expressions, not only, but also the sound of your voice, breathing, positioning yourself properly, making that first impression as a halo effect, big halo effect, it's super important. You have only once the chance to make that very first impression best of all. So highly recommend to work on it and to contact me.
You're a lot of fun.
I would love to help.
Yes, and you're a lot of fun, so you're a pleasure to spend time with. Maybe you want to share just an experience, one of your favorites, you don't have to tell us who the client was, because I know you work with some very high-level people that may not want, you to name drop, which is fine. But share maybe one of your most favorite experiences.
So, number one, very unflattering experience when someone is actually picking the nose on camera. It's unfortunate. It's so unfortunate. I think it's one of the worst ones.
Oh, goodness. Wow,
I would-
wow.
Yay! And I'm not gonna, obviously, that's a top secret. I'm really top secret. I work with white gloves with my clients. I would never reveal anything like that. Another one was that the kid was crawling in the back and was famous scene from COVID. But yes, that was one of my executives I was working with. And then another one. This one was actually very, very different because it was right before when people understood what to do and how to position the camera. So sometimes people were positioning it too high like this,
Right.
and then you all of a sudden see the nostril like this. Or sometimes, unfortunate for ladies, big
Yeah.
décolleté, and you only see an action of décolleté, which obviously not very professional either.
No, no.
Um,
That time with COVID was definitely like the wild, wild west.
learning. So positioning the computer lens and right on the level with your eye contact with your camera is super important. So I can talk about this forever. I have
Yes,
limited time.
that is true. That is true. I mean, we had some of our own very funny moments in the organization, especially because, we're a private organization. It's not really open to the public. It's by introduction.
Mhm.
But we had people come out of the shower. I'm like, put a shirt on, right?
Oh,
It
I remember
was
that one.
Wow.
wildest time. I'd say to people, your camera's on. Oh, how do I shut it? We actually gave
Oh,
people it
I
because
won't forget
the,
that one. Yeah.
the funny things that happened in the beginning, that was one of the first gifts we sent folks was a camera slide, camera cover. It said, cover your camera at all times unless you actively know you're going to be on camera.
on camera.
Yeah, some of the things were very funny, but we have several of our members that have been on camera, whether it's one of the news agencies, news outlets that have contacted them to be a contributor,
Contributors, yeah.
one of the, areas of expertise that they represent. And having someone like you in the organization is going to be fantastic, right? So we can direct people properly to get the help that they need, right? Who's not gonna
Wonderful.
an opportunity, to be a subject matter expert in their field of expertise when one of the news channels calls. But who are they gonna
100%.
call? Who are they gonna call to say, I need help?
Who are you gonna call?
Or
Dorothy Lata.
there you go.
It's like Ghostbusters, but hey, I'm gonna put my own commercial.
I think it's great. So Dor, how do people reach out to you? We're going to give them your contact information in the text, but how would you like them to best contact you?
Well, I have my social media on almost every platform. I'm really good with LinkedIn. I on Instagram, but I also have very active website. And of course, I'm on Counts Resource Group website
Yes.
too. I built my profile and I'm very proud of. So you can find me, you Google me, you can definitely find me. Yes, my business come up, my name, my credentials, my testimonials, my clients. So you can read about me, you can reach out to me. I'm very friendly.
We've loved getting to know you and so appreciate your time today to share, a really important subject matter. And like I said, you're always so much fun. So this has been great.
Thank you so much for having me, Lisa and Bruce. And I'm so proud to be a member of our organization, your organization for sure, but I'm so proud to
Happy
be
to have you.
a member of it. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you so much for having me on podcast as well. Much appreciated.
Bruce, did you have something to say?
Well, you guys did a great job, so I don't want to throw another meatball at Dora. Not at this time. I thought your usual effervescent, really energy full guest. And I think everything with you is natural. There's no
Thank
act
you.
here. I am who I am. Take me as I am. All right. And
I love what I do.
I know you have a great passion. All right.
Thank
And I
you.
respect that. I really do. That's great.
Thank you so much.